Wait, stop zipping your suitcase. Seriously, if you think you can stuff everything in your carry-on and speed through security like it's 2019, you're on the verge of disaster. Welcome to the end of 2012. Scanners are smarter, fines are higher, and the list of normal items that could land you in a back room for questioning is getting weirder. I'm not talking about guns or bombs. That's obvious. I'm talking about your vitamins, your portable phone charger, and yes, even that jewelry I circled in the thumbnail. Why would you be treated like a serious drug offender in a foreign country because of a gummy bear you used for sleeping? Why would an airline force you to destroy your expensive, smart luggage at the gate? Don't let a $5 item add up to a bill that's bigger than your plane ticket. Today, we're going to discuss 10 carry-on items that could get you fined or arrested in 2025. And stick with me until the end, because the first item is something you've probably already thrown in your backpack without a second thought. Let's get started. Stop packing your medications in flimsy Ziploc bags. Seriously, it's late 2025, and what you call space-saving, according to the Border Patrol, is a starter kit for drug dealing. In Japan, tourists have witnessed hundreds of dollars worth of vitamins and skincare products go down the drain simply because they didn't have the original bottles. The policy is brutal. No laves. You gamble with your entry. But Dubai has the ultimate law. A traveler was recently flagged for simply transiting because their prescription was on the UAE's prohibited list. If it gets into your bloodstream, it could be considered property. You could be in trouble for what's inside your body. Quick tip, check out the UAE Ministry of Health website right now. And remember, an emergency landing could put you at risk in their jurisdiction. And headaches aren't just about the pills, they're also about the temperature. A thin medical ice pack is a real magnet for TSA delays. One traveler was scolded for melting packages and only got away with it by showing old boarding passes to prove travel time. So have your receipts, tickets, and prescriptions ready to speed things up. Don't let a bottle of Advil lead to a criminal record. Just wondering, has anyone here had their meds confiscated at customs? Share your horror stories in the comments. But if that sounds stressful, wait for item number 9. It's a $300 gadget that the airline can force you to destroy right at the gate. You know that little $400 smart suitcase you bought to use at the airport? Right now, that bag is like a VIP ticket to a gate check nightmare. We know what happens when you fly domestically. You're in Zone 4, and the Delta agent is going to use the microphone. The bins are full. We need a gate check. Panic mode is on. Here's the catch. Right now, airline policy is very simple. If the battery doesn't die, the bag won't be damaged. Why is your phone working, but the bag isn't? Simple. Cabin fires are fixable. A lithium fire in the cargo hold at 30,000 feet is a major disaster. You don't want to be the passenger kneeling on the jet bridge, digging for a battery while the agent just stares. Forget the TSA-approved sticker. If they can't get it out in 3 seconds, you're either leaving the bag or you're not getting on the flight. So you can't track it. Some travelers use the old system. Security sees a fire hazard. Customs sees contraband. You have to take your destination seriously. Thailand and Singapore don't play around. Bringing a vape, there's a real risk of jail or deportation. Even in places with heavy traffic like Mexico, you could be immediately confiscated and fined more than your return ticket. We've seen vacations ruined at Cancun customs because of some disposable pods. On a plane, they're not exchangeable. Never charge your device. The FAA strictly prohibits this because lithium batteries can overheat. Plug that into your seat, and you'll instantly become a passenger safety hazard in the eyes of the flight attendants. It's not worth the drama. And don't try to sneak a puff in the bathroom. Modern smoke detectors are better than you think. Getting caught means a hefty fine and possibly a lifetime ban from that airline. The smartest move? Switch to Zin pouches or patches for travel days. Unless you're 100% sure about local laws, leave the hardware at home. Is a criminal record really worth a quick conversation? If that sounds harsh, wait until you see item number 7. This is the gadget you need to keep your phone alive, but if you're in the wrong size container, the TSA will toss it in the trash. We all have that 1% battery anxiety. So, it's natural to want to carry a power bank that looks like a brick and could probably power a truck. But security doesn't just look at the shapes on the screen. They care about how much energy that battery actually stores. Here's the calculation you need. The green zone is less than 100 W-hours. Music 100 to 160 W-hours. That's the ask for permission zone. Most airlines allow it too, but technically you need approval. Beyond 160 W-hours, leave it at home. It's prohibited. Just because it flew abroad doesn't mean it's safe to travel domestically. A traveler recently flew from Madrid to Wenzhou, China with a 20,000 MIA bank, no problem. But on a domestic hop to Shanghai, it was confiscated. It didn't have the specific safety rating required for domestic flights. This shows that the rules can change once you move terminals, but the most common culprit is faded labels. If an agent flips your battery over and can't read the stats because it's broken, they won't Google it for you. No label equals trash. You might be sweating over your laptop right now. Relax. There's a reason the biggest MacBook Pro is rated at exactly 99.6 W-hours. Apple didn't just guess. Music, they engineered it to stay exactly 0.4 units away from being a dangerous weapon. They know the rules better than we do. The real danger is in those big third-party bricks. Check your labels now. If the text is gone, replace it. If you think battery math is annoying, wait for item number 6. It's a flying toy you love, but airports treat it like a spy plane. Let's talk about the flying camera in your bag. You might see your DJI Mini as a harmless way to capture the scenery. But once you cross certain borders, many countries no longer view it as a creative tool. They treat it as a restricted aviation device. And that change of perspective changes everything. Egypt is the ultimate warning sign. Flying a drone near heritage sites like the pyramids is a major security breach. Local authorities don't mince words. Expect immediate confiscation and hefty fines. You're not just going to lose your gadget. You're inviting a level of scrutiny that ruins the whole vibe of your trip. And then there's India, which is less about spies and more of a bureaucratic trap. You can't just walk in. In many cases, you have to apply for a permit online before you even board your flight. If you land without the proper paperwork, say goodbye to your drone. Customs will likely confiscate it, and navigating the red tape to get it back is a pain. And don't bury it in your laundry to fool the scanner. Once you try to hide it, you'll lose the "I didn't know" defense. If it looks like you try to sneak it in, you're not just missing the drone, you're facing a smuggling charge. So what's the smartest thing to do? Check international drone laws with an app like Drone Buddy before you pack. Or better yet, if you really need aerial footage, hire a local drone operator when you get there. It saves you the hassle and keeps your record clean. We've already seen the cameras buzzing overhead. Now, let's look at the ones hidden right in your face. Item number 5 gives you a 007 vibe, but border security treats it like real espionage. We all love to feel like James Bond. Smart glasses, recording pens, or the clever little cameras hidden in alarm clocks are all the rage these days. But while they are fun gadgets to have around the house, crossing the wrong border turns them from cool technology to surveillance equipment. In countries like Saudi Arabia, strict privacy laws mean that the importation of concealed cameras is heavily regulated or outright banned. Similarly, at borders in China, security checks often include additional scrutiny of unusual electronics. Authorities there don't view these items as content creation tools. They often flag them as potential security risks. The clue isn't a flashing light. It's an X-ray. You can't fool physics. A ballpoint pen or a pair of reading glasses shouldn't have batteries, wires, and circuit boards inside. When a scanner detects electronics hidden inside an ordinary object, it's an immediate warning. The truth is, you won't necessarily end up in a secret prison, but you'll likely get your valuables confiscated and a hefty fine. Plus, you'll have to explain to a stern customs officer why you're carrying secret recording devices. It's a difficult and expensive conversation that ruins the start of any trip. The rule of thumb is, if it looks like spyware, keep in your bag. You're a tourist, not a group of secret agents. Okay, enough about 007 gadgets. Let's move on to something that looks harmless and actually tastes good. You probably brought it with you to help you sleep, but in some parts of Asia, it's treated with the same severity as hard drugs. We need to bust a big misconception right now. You trust the label on your sleep gummies that says 0% THC, right? At many international airports, that sticker is legally worthless. Bring CBD for the good vibes. Customs agents in Japan or Dubai carry chemical spectrometers that are absolutely chill-free. These machines don't care about your cute organic wellness label. They can detect molecular structures. In legal systems in places like Indonesia or the UAE, you don't have an exception clause like my back hurts. The law is binary. You're either legal or you're in big trouble. Just look at the case of Pip Holmes in Bali. He drank a little oil specifically for arthritis pain. The result? No warning. He suddenly found himself facing headlines about a possible 15-year sentence in a system where a medical reason carries no weight and a doctor's note won't save him from being treated like a serious drug offender. Don't risk years of your freedom just to sleep soundly on a plane. If you're not sure, and in most of these countries, you really can't give it to security. Now, while CBD is causing you trouble for what you're taking out of the country, the next pitfall is what you're bringing back. It's that cheap souvenir you bought at night market that U.S. Customs is waiting to slap a hefty fine on. Plasma arc lighters are undeniably cool. They're like little lightsabers. But unlike your power bank that just sits there, this gadget is designed to create an immediate burst of heat that will make security nervous. The rules are specific. It's hard to ban from checked bags. It's allowed for carry-on, but there's a big hurdle. It requires a special safety latch to prevent accidental activation. They have to be 100% sure it won't set your backpack on fire while on the plane. Here's the thing. Safety is subjective. A spectator's lighter was confiscated simply because the agent decided the latch was a little loose. You'll never win a debate about the engineering details of the security line. It's a losing battle. And if you're going to China, don't bother. Most airports there have a zero-tolerance policy for all lighters. They just throw them away. That's it. So ask yourself, why do you even bother? There's no point in carrying a $50 gadget that serves as a giant inspect me sign for the TSA when a disposable one does the same job. Sometimes high-tech equals high hassle. Stick to the basics and save the plasma beams for home. Losing a lighter is just annoying. But now, let's get to the part everyone's really been waiting for. I know a lot of you clicked on this video because you saw the expensive watch circled in the thumbnail, right? So why is it banned? The answer is in item number 2. And this mistake is the kind of mistake that leads to people losing thousands of dollars. Look at the bracelet or handbag you're wearing. If you picked it up to be stolen at a night market, you're traveling with legal risks you probably haven't even considered. And the expensive watch circled in the thumbnail. It's there because fake designer pieces like this go straight to the customs confiscation pile. Customs used to focus on shipping containers, but now places like France and Italy are cracking down on individual travelers. Landing in Paris or Milan with a super fake Louis Vuitton isn't just a fashion faux pas. Travelers face on-the-spot confiscation and 3- or 4-digit fines. U.S. Customs is pushing it too, warning that buying and transporting fakes feeds criminal networks. Music. This crackdown is sparking a huge debate in the comments. Many viewers feel that digging through personal luggage for a fake bag is an overreaction by the government. People rightly ask, what if I received a fake bag as a gift? Will I really get arrested for a gift I didn't even buy? And there's a deeper frustration from older travelers who aren't obsessed with brands. They point to a scary truth. They buy shoes because they're comfortable and affordable, not because of the logo. They worry that the system will end up penalizing people who aren't high fashion experts or trained to spot a fake. It's a valid and painful concern. Unfortunately, customs agents aren't there to judge your intentions or your fashion knowledge. If they decide the logo is fake, they treat it as a genuine customs violation, not a harmless mistake. Importantly, counterfeits are now a legal risk, not just a quality one. If you didn't buy it from a reputable store, the safest bet is to leave it at home when you cross a border, unless you want to make an involuntary donation to the French government. If getting fined for a wallet sounds crazy, wait until it becomes number 1. It's something you probably bought for self-defense, but airport security treats as an offensive weapon. Finally, we've got number 1. We're not talking about the obvious stuff like guns or explosives. We're talking about the stuff in your bag right now. stuff you might see as harmless equipment, but airport security sees as deadly weapons. The definition of a concealed weapon is surprisingly broad. Music. You might think that a tactical pen or souvenir throwing star is just a nice gift. But security scanners are trained to flag anything that looks like it's designed to cause harm, regardless of your intentions. The trap often lies in cultural differences. In the US, carrying a Leatherman multi-tool on your belt might not seem like a strange thing to do in everyday life. But in places like London, that little locking blade risks being interpreted as an offensive weapon and landing you in a serious situation. But there are real-world stories where logic suddenly dies. I read about a man who bought a soldering iron in the UK. A technical tool, but Heathrow security treated the sharp end like a prison bat. That tool never made it out of London. Another traveler passing through Dubai had to surrender a brand new Stanley ruler. Yes, a ruler. Apparently in the wrong hands, it wasn't for measuring furniture. It was a tactical threat. And the pinnacle of this nonsense is hiking poles. There's a wild story from a female traveler who was told that as long as she physically leaned on the pole, it was a mobility aid and that was fine. But once she folded it up and put it in her backpack, it stopped being a medical device and became a baton in the eyes of the agent. The object didn't change, but her grip on it determined whether she would make it on her flight. So, stop trying to use common sense with airport security regulations. It doesn't work. Ignorance won't save your gear. Make it your standard procedure. If it's sharp, or heavy enough to hurt someone, put it in the cargo hold. Don't let a ruler or a soldering iron ruin your trip. I know after that list, you probably feel like the only safe things to pack are a pair of socks and a smile, but the goal is to get you through security easily, not trip over a bottle of vitamins. Have you ever had something ridiculous confiscated? Share your story in the comments. If this saved you a ticket or just gave you a little peace of mind, hit the like and subscribe button. Safe travels, and see you next time.